My father said I wasn't allowed to be smarter than him, and he spent 18 years trying to ensure my brain never reached its full potential. Most parents want their children to succeed, but mine were consumed by a deep, bitter resentment of anyone they perceived as superior. My father, Marcus, was a high school dropout who believed that intelligence was a form of rebellion against his authority. My mother, Elena, was just as twisted. She had failed her nursing exams 3 times and spent her nights ranting about elitist doctors who had supposedly sabotaged her career. They met at a rally for people who felt oppressed by the educated, and they raised me in a house where books were treated like contraband, and curiosity was a punishable offense. When I turned 16, they took me to see a man named Dr. Silas in a basement office that smelled like bleach and old newspapers. Silas had lost his medical license years ago for experimenting with untested neurological inhibitors, but my parents didn't care. They had found him on dark web forums for parents who wanted to level the playing field for their children. "This is the man who's going to fix your ego," my father said, pointing to a set of scans. I didn't understand until I saw the diagrams showing where they intended to place neural dampeners, implants designed to slow down cognitive processing and dull memory. They called it total normalization. I watched my older sister Maya go through it first. She used to be a chess prodigy who could solve complex equations in her head, but after her treatment, she moved through the house like a ghost. She would stare at a simple light switch for minutes, trying to remember how it worked. My parents celebrated her new humility by making her work a dead-end job and praised her for finally being at their level. Now it was my turn. They started preparing me by forcing me to wear sensory deprivation goggles for 10 hours a day to slow down my mind. The night before my surgery, I knew I had to act. I didn't damage my body. I sabotaged their cure. I spent all night using my hidden laptop to rewrite the software on Dr. Silas's dampeners. On the morning of the procedure, when Silas activated the implants, they didn't dull my brain. They acted as a high-speed interface that allowed me to record every conversation in that basement. I played along for weeks, acting slow and confused, while the dampeners secretly captured footage of my parents discussing the illegal surgeries and the hormones they were slipping into Maya's food. I waited until the annual normalization gala they hosted for their bitter friends. While my father was giving a speech about the dangers of thinking too much, I bypassed the house's security and projected the recordings onto the massive living room screen. The room went silent as my parents' voices echoed through the house, detailing how they had lobotomized my sister for their own comfort. The police arrived within 20 minutes. My parents are both serving 20 years for medical torture and human rights violations. I'm at university now on a full scholarship, but every time I get an A, I still find myself looking over my shoulder, waiting for someone to tell me I'm being too loud.